Welcome everyone. The last session, we discussed about how to convert the subnet into the IP range, and then we discussed a couple of things like how the traffic flow happens from router to router and other things. Okay, let me show you. My screen share is still on, I hope. Yeah. So Yeah. So we discussed like how the ISP provides a how ISP provides a dynamic IP to us, which is ephemeral, and how the router establishes the different levels of traffic between the devices. Okay. As we discussed earlier, what we mentioned is the ISP will provide a subnet. ISP will provide a temporary IP, which is the ephemeral IP, right? So this is my ephemeral IP, which is a dynamic one. What happens is, let's say if I want to set up a static web application or something, okay. So in that case, we are supposed to use a static IP. So we can request the static IP from our ISP. It does charge a couple of bucks, like I don't know, like depends on the service, maybe 2,000 to 500, 5,000 or something. And other than that, today we will discuss about the other things where about the main topic is about the port forwarding. Okay. So, yeah, so I do have a Linux VM. So what do? I have a bunch of services are running here. And what happens is these services are running inside a different network, a Docker network. Okay. So that would be inside your host. So let's say if it is your host inside this network, a subnetwork, your services are running. So what do? We do a port forward of this particular port, so we can access it. Okay. So I'll give a try with the VM once, whatever VM I have. Okay. Let me start the VM. So meanwhile, the VM starts up. So what exactly happens is, so here, when we do the port forwarding, the network layer, so what it does is, so whatever the source packets, whatever the source packets are coming over here, so for this particular port, it will directly forward via another interface. Okay, let's assume this is your main interface, and this is your internal network. So whatever is the network layer will handle this logic. Okay. So let's say the port number is 22. Okay. So yeah, whatever traffic is coming to the port number 22, it will carry forward to the main interface on this port 20. Okay. Or whatever the port we decided. Okay. So let's give it a try. So we do check if the service is running or not. Okay, system CTL. Okay. So now what we do is we did a port forwarding on this port 222. Okay. Uh, 2222. So what do I do? I'll try a telnet. Yeah. So I can do a telnet of this. Okay. So I'll try to connect it. So I'll give localhost and the port which I forwarded is 2222. Okay. And okay.
So 2222 is a port on the VM.
No, no. I'll tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So which kind of network our VM is in? If you see here.
NAT.
NAT, right? So, like in the last session, what we mentioned is NAT is a kind of a layer, protection layer, where the router or the network, right? So, whatever the traffic coming from outside, it cannot enter your network. Okay. So, it won't allow your outside traffic, but your inside traffic can go outside. Okay. So, that is what NAT is. NAT is like a sandbox. Okay. So this whole thing is a sandbox here. If you see, so this is a sandbox. Okay. No, I cannot access the sandbox directly. Okay. So if I go here and see, if I go here, try this IP 10.0.215. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So this is the IP of this one. Okay. So if I go here, IP config. So if you see, I have only two interfaces. One is 56.1 and one is 59. Okay. 192.168. But I don't have the 10.0.2. So that is because it's whole together, it's an internal network. It's a box inside our laptop. So like the virtual box. So we cannot access this network from our laptop directly because NAT doesn't allow outside traffic. So only the workaround is, so what we supposed to do, we need to port forward, actually forward our port to the wherever the interface you are looking for. Okay. So what I did, I forwarded the 22 port of our VirtualBox VM. Okay. And I forwarded it to our laptop. This is my laptop to the port 2222. Okay, I can do the port 22 also, like just to make sure I identify. Okay, this double two is my SSH for this particular one. So I did this. Okay, so what I can do instead of this, I'll spin up another one. Okay, yeah, I spinned up second VM.
So this 10.0.2.15 is like a private IP.
Yes, exactly. So it's a network inside your, it's altogether separate network. So it doesn't like there is no rule that okay, you need to have only one network. So what happens is all these virtual boxes, so they will have their own network, or this NAT itself will create a own isolated networks. So private isolated network. Okay, so I opened a second VM. Okay, if you see here. Uh, VM2. Okay, so yeah, yeah. This is my Ubuntu test tool. This is the second mission. Okay,
Okay.
uh, and okay, I need to check which network I provided. Okay, so here I have an option. Okay, I can go for an adapter too. I can create a private network. So here I gonna do it NAT. Okay, so here also I do the port forwarding. There is a host and the guest. Host is my physical device, which is my laptop. So what I do, double two instead of this 4422, and the guest port would be 22. So in order to identify this as SSH, right, or 3322. Okay, and clicked OK. 1 minute later. So if I see this one, yeah, 192, 168. Okay, let me do a review. What do I see there is I see it has its separate network called 192, 168, 56 dot I guess it is. And here also it's an isolated network. So I'm supposed to do a port forwarding. So what I'm doing a port forward for uh, yeah, I'm doing a port forward for multi 3322. Okay. So let me see. Yeah, I think it got fixed now. So 10.0.2.15, that's the IP it came. So, okay, my bad. This is 15 and this is also 15. Okay. So what exactly happened is these both has a separate identical networks. Okay, that means like if you see this one. So what happened? This one has its own private isolated network and which got 2.15. Okay. So and this one also has a separate isolated network. Okay. So this also has the internal IP. See, the both will not conflict because it's hold together a different box. Okay. So this also hold together different network. So I have one laptop. I have a main interface which is connected to Wi-Fi or the LAN or the internet one. And other than that, I created an internal like the NAT, right? It does create an internal network between these two, uh, like internal private network only for this particular virtual box. Okay, and the second one also has a separate private network. So how I can connect these two? Okay, for that I can do one more thing. Okay, yeah, for these two I can create one separate network. Okay, so let's call network 3. Okay, so how do I do that? So I'll leave this one as it is. Okay, so I'll shut down the VM and go to the settings. Yeah, here adapter 2. So internal network, internet. Okay. So hello all VM. Let's call it network 3 we call, right? Uh, internet 3. Or yeah, I'll just keep internet. Click apply and start. So this one also, I'll go here. Okay. Let me shut it down. I'll go here, add a new network. So internal network, internet, and hello all. Click OK. So this one is internet. Okay. So let me start this. Other than this, I can do one more thing actually. I have the host only network where I can attach the host and this VM, right, as a different network actually. Okay. Yeah, that would be one thing, host only network. So I can create in between these two. Right now, I'm not touching that. So yeah, we can create how many networks we want. But if we want, let's say now from the NAT, now from this one, if I want to, like, let's say if I remove the NAT, if I want to access the internet, right, through the main interface. So I might need to a routing from this network to this network. Okay. So the routing also would be involved there. Let me show you. It's coming anytime, but yeah. Yeah. Now if I see, I have one is my network one, first network, and I have my internal network. Okay. So my internal network is this one. And let me see if my network is connected or not. Okay, we didn't got IP address here. That's strange. The IP address is not assigned. Yeah, let me see this one. Yeah. So what we got is we got an internet IPv6, but we didn't got IPv4. So I'll try ping with IPv6. Okay. So let me copy this one. So ping. Okay. I think I need to copy it manually. Okay. So 08 00 27 89 07 79. Okay. Let me try.
So Ether is same as IPv6.
Uh, Yeah, actually, the DNS entries are not coming. I think I still need to set up a IPv4 address. So yeah, I think that the IPv4 is not coming properly. So that would be a different one. Yeah, that's okay. We'll see it again. No problem. Cool. So that's about the port forwarding in general. Okay. So I did a second port forward, right? Let me try putty. SSH 120 SH 127.0.0.1. Port 3322. Let me try with putty. 192, 160, sorry, 27.0.0.1, 3322. Okay, would be here. Yeah, so I can log into the second VM. My port forwarding is working though here. Okay, so I'll move to the next one. Second, yes. Yeah, till here about the port forwarding, you have any questions, man? Any?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah. So the next topic we are moving to ports. Okay. What do you mean by ports is like the TCP UDP ports. Okay. So we have the routes also. Okay. Let me go back to the routes part. So now let's say I have a one VM and I have one interface here. I have VM2, have another interface. So this is under network one and this is under network two. Okay. So, and I have a router here. This is my router one. Router doesn't mean it's a physical router. A device can also act, a VM also can act as a router. It just needs to forward the packet. Okay. So I'll go here and set up one more router. And I have one more VM. So what happens is, see, these two are under one network. So, and the all under the router network. Okay. That I can put with this. And these two are under second network. Okay. So that would be somewhere with this. Okay. So let's assume if I want to communicate with the network one to network two. Okay. This network interface one to network interface two. Let's say this VM wants to communicate with this, or this VM wants to communicate with this. Okay. See, these two are connected by router. That would be there. That's fine. There would be a router interconnecting these two. We have a like a big network, but uh, these are all subnetworks. Okay, let's assume so. So let's say if my VM, this network one, VM1 wants to communicate to VM3 or VM4. So what I'm supposed to do is I need to add a forward packets. Okay, so that would be like a route forwarding. So I need to add a route forwarding rule. So if packet is coming somewhere like, okay, this is a 192.168.0 dot. Okay. So if this is a belongs to this particular network, okay, and here this one has a different one, something like 60. Okay, so these two belongs to separate the CADR. So if it wants to communicate, so what do? We add a routing rule. Okay, the routing rule specifies that, okay, wherever a packet coming with something like 192.168, okay, 140.x. So it's supposed to pass it through send via router, this router one. Okay, router here. Okay, and router two. So we will mention this gateway. Okay, so pass it through gateway one. So what happens? This route will go to this particular router one, and then it will forward to the another router, and it will finally reach its destination. So we need to add the route similar, the similar route forwarding here also. Okay. So let's say it is okay. So here also we need to add a route forwarding in the VMs. Okay. So whenever any you are trying to reach to it altogether a different network, so we need to add a route forwarding here, or we can add the similar route forwarding in the router itself. Okay. In the router there is a route forwarding options. Okay. Let me show. Yeah. So here is your routing. So whenever you're sending a network from one interface to another interface, or one particular interface, one from another interface, right? So we can add the routing. Routing will decide, okay, where this packet should go. Okay. So we can add at the router level, and sometimes we need to add at the VM level also. Okay. So with this, I'll move to the next one. So we have something called TCP IP. Sorry, TCP and UDP. So we do have ports. One is called TCP port and another is UDP. So TCP is the transmission control protocol, and I think UDP don't. Yeah, user diagram protocol it is. Okay, so the datagram protocol. So what are all comes under TCP? So TCP is a connection oriented. So what happens? It will do a init, okay, and then it will do a acknowledgement, and then it will do a end of transmission. Okay. So these three particular calls will be there. It's a connection oriented. So what we know, when we send this particular traffic through this particular port, we know that okay, the traffic went in and then it came back. Okay. So we know because we will get a acknowledgement packet from the other side. Coming to UDP, we won't get any acknowledgement packet. No guarantee that packets are delivering. Okay, it just sends it blindly. Okay, it just forwards the packet. So what and all comes under TCP? You will get all the regular things. There is a HTTP, HTTPS, SSH. You have NFS protocol. So all standard IPs, whatever we use. So standard protocols, they do come under TCP. Coming to UDP, you have a Route 53 and the for the DNS, and we do have something like clock NTP protocol, and sometimes we do use a broadcast. So yeah, all these things will come over here. Okay, so we will take a look. So let's assume if you take a VM, okay, a VM will be having multiple TCP ports and multiple UDP ports. Okay, so this if it is a VM1, and let's say you are trying to reach from a separate client. Okay, so let's say you're trying to access it SSH. Okay, that would be 422. Now you're trying to access a ICMP. Okay, I don't remember the port. That is also one particular port. ICMP is as in P. We do have MySQL port. Okay, or we do have HTTP. Okay, so the clients can do multiple things. All the ports who should be opened on the server side. Okay, so here the server would be this. Whatever is sending the request, right? This is a client. So when I'm sending a SPUTI connection, SSH, so we are making sure that in the server, the SSH22 is running. So it's similarly the ping and similarly with the ATN 443. Okay. So I'll show you a simple one. So this is a portainer as in a container admin portal. So if I see here, yeah, yeah, if I see here, it says this, the published ports 3000, 9100, 9115, 339798. So how do I know from the server side if a port is opened or not? Okay. So that would be using netstat command. So I'm going to this particular one. Let me increase. Yeah. So let's take one example. Okay. Port 80, right? So here port 80 is there. So which one is exactly using port 80? Okay. Or so for that one, sudo netstat anvopt or opt grep 80. So if you look for, sorry, grep 90. So yeah, if you look for port 80, right, it's going to Docker proxy because Docker is handling the port. Okay. Similarly, if you look for 42280, this is a Plex. So this also coming here. And if I just see all the ports, right? Yeah. So these are all Unix related things. So yeah, we have the UDP is also running here. I'm running a streaming software. I think that one is utilizing the UDP ports. Okay. So let me take an example of the VM, right? So I have the VM virtual box. So me restart. So, so I'll check for if a port is open or not. Okay. So stat grep for 22. So if I do grep for 22, so what it says is it's running the SSH service. Okay. So it's running in TCP 6 also, IPv6, but IPv4 also it open. Okay. So I'll install Nginx, systemctl status Nginx. Yeah, I think Nginx is already installed. So I'll check if it is running in the port 80. So yeah, we have Nginx running in port 80. So what are all these options? So P will specify the program whatever it is running. Okay. EA will specify the all the ports, like list all the running ports for this one. Okay. So let's show you that. Yeah, this is how it is. So usually I use this one, netchat-amopt. But they like we can use NTULN, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so we can use TULN also. Like these are all particular switches parameters. So we can use that to check whether if a port is open or not. Okay. So the question comes here is how do I know if the server side the port is open or not? Okay. For that one, so if it is Windows, what I do is CLS. Okay. So I'll check with the telnet. This particular IP. So this particular IP is 127.0.0.1. I think it will not work for this one. So I'll try for the mini PC. So telnet 192.168.0.174. The port number is, let's see, I'll try 9100. Okay. If you see it went in, we are getting the prompt like this. Okay. So I think I need to close the telnet. Okay. So let me try some random port. Okay. Telnet. So I get 22. It's saying it is used by SSH, OpenSSH. Okay. Let me try another one. 168.0 dot port something like 443. So it should be telnet. Yeah. So that's about it. That's how we check. But even from the Unix also, we can check the same thing. So it should be nc-az uh, local host port 22. Sorry, vz. So I tried for localhost. It's the same thing. So I can use NC. NC is a netcat tool. It will do a scanning if the ports are open or not. Okay. That's about the ports. Like so, this is how we use multiple ports, multiple TCP or UDP ports. Uh, like if we want to check if a server really is working or not, so we can check if the port is open or not. That's the first check we are supposed to do. Okay. Think what else topics I have. So PUDP firewall we covered in Linux already. But in going forward, we can take one more session. I'll give a view about load balancer, what exactly the load balancer does. Okay. So yeah. So let's say your network got big. Okay. So I'm using this. I'm using this. Yeah, and here multiple services are running. So something like 80, 443, and 53. All those things are running. Okay. So even similarly, also what I'll do, I'll put a small opening here. So this is one, and this is one. So let's say I have three services running here. So here also I am having three services. So this is one. Yeah, it's just a small concept though. So let's see. So what happens is whenever you're hitting a service, right? Okay, let's say this is your whole setup. Okay. Yeah, let's consider this is your whole setup. Okay. So there is one request coming, which I want to access the Nginx service. Okay. So, or something like my web service or something. There is a request coming. So in these particular services, like multiple 10,000 servers or 10, like multiple services or multiple ports, how I know where I'm supposed to send my traffic to. Okay. Let's say I'm using accessing Amazon.com. Okay, I'll show you what is DNS is. So let's say it translated to this particular one. Okay, 192.168.0.250 port 5533. Oh, port 5000. Okay, so in these many ports, there are port 5000 somewhere. Okay, but let's assume the VMs are somewhere here and right? So you have multiple VMs and you have multiple services, multiple ports are running there here and there, right? So how will we know how to forward the traffic from one like a point to the right host and the right service, right? So we want to send to the right port and right service. So this is handled by something called load balance. Okay. So the load balancer will forward the traffic as we mentioned. It's supposed to send to the right service, as in right host and the right port. So it will register all the targets, what it's supposed to send. Okay. And the load balancer will take care of sending it. So we will give a demo when we are doing the system design or any other thing. So I'll show you a demo. How does it work? And I'll show you a couple of tools which we are using. Uh, Before that, I'll show you DNS and then I'll show you the couple of tools which we are using. Okay. In order to show DNS. Yeah, give me a second. Let me. So we have DNS service as multiple DNS services. So we can take something like GoDaddy or Whois. We can register the domain under Whois. We have Namecheap. We have the I forgot the name. Yeah. Cloud services, we have multiple services. Okay. Think I forgot. CloudFront, Cloudflare, sorry. So we have Cloudflare. What I'm doing, I'm using my DNS. That would be Route 53. I registered my domain here. I think I'm wrapping up the session. Just give me another 5 minutes. So yeah, so this is the domain I bought, seshadatta.com. Okay. So what I'll do, I already created a bunch of records. Okay. So I'm not attaching to anything. What I'll do is I'll try to, yeah, so I'll take a record and I'll see if it is able to, what is it, translate it or not. Okay. So we have bunch of records, different types. Maybe we'll explore the DNS topic in detail. I'll set up a local DNS for it. So I'll take this one and I'll check the DNS checker. So yeah. So when I open this one, nixet.sysdata.com, so it's able to return the IP. So this is what the DNS does. So when we provide a server name, when we provide the URL, so it will convert into an IP address, okay, of the server. So can we do this check manually? Yes. So we have bunch of networking tools we use. So let's go one by one. So the first one is ping. So, and now we are looking for the route, right? The DNS. Okay. So we'll use NS lookup. Okay. So we'll try NS lookup of this particular domain, what it does return. Okay. NS lookup. Hmm. It's not getting any request. Okay. So I'll do something. Yeah. Give me a second. Yeah. I think I mentioned this. So let me remove it. Okay. Now I'll try the DNS. Okay. For some reason, from my Windows, I'm not getting the DNS request. So I'll try from the Linux VM. So let's look up. Yeah. So my Windows DNS is messed up some issue. Okay. My Linux one is working fine. So I'll try for my another one, except something like this. Yeah, so this is what it's returning. So it's returning 44.202, 10.240. So what is the URL register and what is the corresponding IP? So as I mentioned, we have like 5 different network commands we use. So the first one is ping. So we'll try from the local, we try from the second PC. This is my mini PC to my Windows. Okay. So let me try ping. IP config. So here also IP config. I could see 0.174. So here it is 0.59. So I'll try a ping from here. 68 0.159. Okay, that's the problem. 168 0.174. Yeah. So looks like my Windows firewall is blocking the this particular port, this particular ICMP. Okay, so that would be CMP port. Yeah, but let me see. Let me check my firewall once. I'll add a new rule. Okay, rule all programs next. CMP. Okay, I enabled all the ports now in my laptop, but let me see if it works now. Okay, yeah. So it is returning now 59 because I opened a port here. I mean, I opened a firewall. So usually my firewall is blocking the request, but otherwise ping is a way to get to know, okay, whether a VM is online or not. Okay. So the TTL will mention time to live, how much time it took, how much time to live setting it is. And the other time is will say how much time it took the request to get back a reply. Okay, so that would be the first command, ping. And we have another one as ns lookup. Ping is to check connectivity. There is a second one that is telnet or nc. So telnet and nc, what does they do? They do check if a port is open or not in a server. And we have telnet, we have netstat. Netstat will mention inside the server if the port is opened or not. Port is listening or not, basically. Uh, we have ns lookup, which will check for the DNS records. Other than this, we have some ARP, right? Yeah, let me see. I think this is why the DNS didn't went in. Let me try again. Something wrong. Okay, so let me try for we have netstat, we have ns lookup, and then we have trace route. So trace route will tell you how many hops it has to go through. Trace RT. Let me try in my Windows. Yeah. So traceRT will tell you how many hops it has to cross. The hops as in, if you go back to this diagram, so we mentioned, right? So it's like multiple hops, like this is a one hop and this is another hop till the time it reaches the particular Google server, right? So that is the hops range it's saying. Okay. So I can also mention to particular local one also, something like this, right? Config. Yeah, I can check for the number of hops for this. So here I showed us 8 hops basically. It's going to my act card and then the internet provider. The first it went to my router. Okay, I'm not able to, no, maybe I need to increase the screen. Okay, so the first one it went to my router as in the gateway, and then slowly it went to my ISP, and then finally it went to get the results. Okay, so I'll try trace route for this one. So 192.168.0.174. It doesn't need to fly in this many hops, but let's see. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's able to get that directly. It got in a single hop, whereas the Google.com, it got multiple hops to get through the request. So yeah, so what we have here, so trace route, check the trace the packet through hops. I've mentioned ARP, right? There is it config. You do know for IP interfaces. There is the ARP address resolution protocol. So let me see what it does here. So hmm, ARP yeah, so it will try to find a DNS entry for this google.com. So that's what it does. I think like something similar to NSLOOKUP. So I think I'm done with the basics of networking. Still, we have a lot of things to cover, as in the load balancer. We can check with the firewall one more time, as in the network firewall, how network firewall works. Uh, we can go through the DNS in deep, like how a DNS works up and how do we set up a local DNS, and we need to do the TCP dump also. That part I'm not covering here. Maybe I'll cover in next setup. Maybe a different one, or maybe I can give a try for the TCP dump. Okay, so see. Okay, let me show you what TCP dump is quickly. Sudo TCP dump. Can try for interface config. I'll try for this one. TCP dump. Okay, -I. So this is what TCP dump does. It will listen to the packets, whatever going through the interface or a particular port. I can change it to listen on any port and any interface. Okay. So yeah, right now there are 0 packets, but let's say if we run it on a particular the listening one, right? Okay, let me try it here. TCP dump hyphen I ENE and hyphen port. Right. Yeah. Port would be 22. So why we are getting this many data? Because I connected this one to my SSH port 22. So I'm getting this much traffic. So what do? I do a control C. So if I see, get my TCP dump. Okay. I need to write a save. So I can write it to pcap. So it's going in a silent mode, right? Yeah. So this is your pcap. So what do I do? I'll try from WinSCP. Ninety-two 168 0.174 port 22. Yeah, this is my capture packet, and let me see if I can, yeah, open it. I need to have a TCP pack Wireshark. This is Windows. I guess it's x64. Yeah, I think that would be the end of the session. It took a while than expected. Still, the networking we didn't go. Yeah, we didn't go in deep, but what we did, we just went into the basics. Okay, so we need a little hands-on to go in deep. Uh, like once we have a flow with the things, then we can go with that. Okay, so can I examine in Linux? Okay, and we have. Yeah, I'll try to read the packet in Linux itself. It's taking a while. So yeah, I have tried to open a packet, read pcap.cap. So it's saying this is ran over this interface, and there is a nginx SSH, and there is a default SSH is running. So this particular nginx is responding to this packets. I'm not sure why. Think no, this is my host name. It is running responding to these packets. In some way, the port 22 also would be mentioning. So yeah, there could be a advanced session once we get through the basics. So here I'll be concluding the networking session. Probably I am scheduling one more tomorrow based on the response, right? Like we'll see for the web applications basics. How do we set up a static and dynamic web applications? So yeah, that's all it is. Mm, think Yeah, I think the PCAP it's still, yeah, I think installed. Yeah, so this is how a PCAP looks like. It will mention like what and all packets travel through in this particular IP and where and all it's coming from. As I mentioned, a packet will have this thing source and destination and a port also. So all those details we can get here. So I'll try to cover these things in advanced networking session. Okay, we'll go through the multiple topics, and then we can come back and discuss about the networking in deep that time. Yeah, thank you guys. Any doubts,
Uh,
Subrit?
yeah, I mean, a very small doubt. I mean, not say big doubt also. Earlier it
Yeah,
was
sure.
showing the IPv4 as 127.0.0, right? After that, why it was 192, 168? Like, was a different VM or?
Yeah, it's a different one. So I have multiple VMs. So maybe that's why. Yeah, is it this one you're talking about?
Yeah, like before also, even at the top also, if you see it was 192, 168, something, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the last one.
168, 0.174.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That one is a good question. So what's happening is this is your client IP, okay? Not the server IP. So server IP is 174. Okay. Yeah, the server IP is 174, man. Okay. The destination IP is 159. So what do you see if this 59 is, if you go here? I don't remember what I set up to, but I can check. Yeah, 59 is this my laptop. My bad. Yeah. So this is the 59. So what your packet is saying is there is a traffic flow between your my Linux server versus my laptop. So one packet went from Linux server to laptop, the through the PuTTY. Okay. So this is a different one. I'm not sure which port it is. For which one it is. I think Plex or something else, or it could be Ping. I'm not sure exactly. So yeah, does that answer your question, man?
No, like, I mean, in the VM, when you did this IP config or IF config, it was showing 127.0.0.1, right? But now why it is
So
192, 168?
no. In VM, when I'm doing a PuTTY, right? Okay, that's for my VMs inside actually. So let me show you. Yeah. So where is my VMs? Yeah. What I was saying is inside a VM, I have my virtual instances, right? Virtual box, right? So this one. Yeah. To access this, I made this 127.0.1. Okay. So I pointed to localhost. That's
Access in the sense?
okay. Localhost. So okay. So always when you are trying to open a, yeah. So let's assume you have your Windows, you have your VM. Okay. So there is something called localhost and loopback. Loopback will there is a loopback interface that is yeah. There is a loopback interface LO, and there is a default Wi-Fi or LAN interface, right? ETH0. So what happens is when you're trying to use this interface, so you will get assigned an IP 192.168.0.128 or something. Okay, loopback is a different one altogether. So let's say when someone is trying to talk to your VM, they need to try talking through this IP. Okay, there are sometimes okay your programs are running inside. Okay, so you need to talk to your itself, like your VM itself, not something outside. Okay. Let's say this has some 10.0. Okay. 198, 172, something, right? But this VM has something called local IP that is called this one, localhost. Okay, localhost slash 127.0.1. So this is what it says. Localhost is always your local, your VM local. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, let me take this. If I do ping localhost, so what I'm doing, I'm pinging my PC itself. Okay. Or ping 127.0.1. So it's the same thing. I'm pinging my PC local itself. I don't need to specify this IP every time. So once you specify the IP, what happens? Your traffic will flow to the LAN, okay, as in the interface, okay, and then you're trying to access this, okay. But when you're saying localhost, it directly access whatever it says. You're inside your VM, okay. Does that answer your question, or shall we go back again?
Yeah, I think it answers. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can try localhost every time. Localhost means your local, like your local hardware itself. Okay, nothing else. So you might have external IP assigned through Wi-Fi and all, but we do use localhost for some purposes. Let's say you hosted some service here, right? Some service here. In order to access it, I do use localhost. Okay. Right now in my Windows, I didn't assign anything. But in my let's say if my virtual box, right? Okay. So I hosted multiple services.
So this one
So
is the same VM which you opened, the Ubuntu VM, same thing.
yeah, this is the Ubuntu VM mini PC. Okay, AX6H2. Let me show you for your idea. I'll show you what it is. Okay. So what I'm doing in this mini PC itself, I'm trying to access this one, 8888. Okay. So telnet 127.0.1. Yeah. So if you see, it's able to access this one locally. Okay. That's what it's doing. We are not specifying any IP like 192.168 and all. We are just specifying the local host 127. Okay. I think the session close is this. Yeah. I can try connecting local SSH itself also. Okay. SSH local host port 22. Yeah. Yeah, I need to do a root password, but what I'll do. Yeah, so I'm inside my mini PC again. So from the same same putties session, I connect to my local host inside again. So it's just everything is local. You're not going anywhere outside. So let's say you wrote some service, you're checking some verification kind of thing. So you can mention like, okay, ping this local host, do verify if this service is running or not. Okay, so that's how it is.
Okay.
Uh, did you got a clue there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is my mini PC. So, yeah, I don't know. It's doing a blur. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, can you see my screen? Can you see my camera?
Mm,
Let me stop it. Let
it's
me
blurring.
let me remove my blur. Yeah, so yeah, I hope it's visible now. Yeah, this is my mini PC I bought recently. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hosting Ubuntu here. Okay. So, and here are my launch.
Hmm.
Yeah. So why I took this, I have this one and I have this one also. I have my Raspberry Pi. I have my mini PC. So I do work with Linux, right? So I host multiple things over there, like test the connectivity and all other things. So that is the reason. So
Okay.
sometimes I cannot do the things in Windows directly as they look for. So
So the
yeah,
VMs which you showed us were on this mini PC. It was not on your laptop.
which one?
The VMs, Ubuntu VMs which you showed, like so they were on this mini PC,
No,
not on
no.
your laptop.
The virtual box ones, they are on my laptop. Okay.
Okay.
The other one which I'm connecting to, as I told, right, AX6H2, that is my mini
Hmm.
PC.
Okay.
So everything is connected to my same Wi-Fi. That's why I'm able to access.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it, sir. I think, yeah, I think that is it. We are good to close, right?
Yeah. Yeah.